first, let me say good morning, and thanks for letting me speak. Thanks for asking me to speak, even though I've been ruminating on it for 2 months, and I brought my cheat sheets. So I'll try really hard not to. I work for Junior Achievement currently. It's my 4th nonprofit, or for impact. We're trying to move that language a little different, right? What other group defines themselves by what they're not? We're not for profit. No, we're for impact, and we do things in the community, right? Thanks. And I am grateful for all of you today. I really do like Inforum, love Inforum. I first learned about Inforum through affinity group. Stella invited to me, so I like to say it's all her fault. And I actually worked for Inforum for 4 years, so I am grateful for Inforum and the connections I've made via Inforum, including my current job at Junior Achievement. So my talk today is about gratitude, and of course in November, we often think about Thanksgiving and giving thanks, but we're going to talk a little bit about business thanks, personal thanks, and why we should be doing it even more often than just in November or at Christmas, right? All year long. So first of all, gratitude from dictionary.com, the quality or feeling of being grateful or thankful. So the word gratitude comes from the Latin word gratia, which means grace, graciousness, or gratefulness, depending on the context. So in some ways, obviously, gratitude can encompass all those meanings. It's a thankful appreciation for what we receive, whether it's tangible or intangible. So with gratitude, people embrace what's going on in their life. And what I really like about it is I've been trying to also change in the nonprofit world. I work with some people who work out of a deficit mindset. We don't have the money to do blah. We don't have the resources to do X. No, we need to work out of abundance. Look at the awesome work we're doing, even though we have limited finances or limited staff, or your team just lost a team member, right? Work from abundance. So that's where my mindset is with doing this. Now, it's kind of funny because I can be so grumpy that I found this perfect meme that is now my screensaver, and it says, "Fine, I won't give up, but I will cuss the entire time." So I mentioned that to my friend, like I tend to be a pessimist, and she was like, "What? No, I don't think that." Well, maybe it's because I am trying to work out of the mindset of an attitude of gratitude, right? So, and then I caught myself actually being an optimist. So we're walking out of work, it's sprinkling a little, and I say, "Oh, it could be worse, at least I have my umbrella." The snow, which all of us were commenting on, it actually could be worse, right? And you know, there's many times in Michigan where we say, "Oh, it could be worse." It could be 12 inches instead of 6 inches, right? So, you know, try to work from a positive standpoint. So I Googled gratitude just for fun. You get 161,000, no, million hits. I had to actually ask my daughter. 161 and 6 zeros. I am not a number person, can you tell? That's why I was like, wait a minute, 161, 000, 000. 161 million hits. So you don't need me to tell you what to do. Feel free, go home, Google it. You'll come up with some ideas. But I imagine that brought you a few. But also, while I've been focused on gratitude, more so because I said yes to speaking today, but the world has been sending me things. So thanks to Facebook, thanks to LinkedIn, I see people posting things they're grateful for all the time. So keep your eyes open for other people exercising that positive attitude. So again, we all have something to be grateful for. And most of us in this room, if you need something material, you run out to Target tomorrow and get it, am I right? Or you pick up the phone or the computer and do Amazon and it's here tomorrow. So I'm not so much talking about material things, although certainly when it's bitter cold like it is right now, I'm certainly grateful that I have a house and a car and a job, and you know, things could be worse. But it's not so much just the material things. So I'm going to give you some suggestions for incorporating a gratitude practice and some couple different options. And it's always about being pro-social because it helps you feel positive emotions, relish the good experience, It's about mindfulness, right? You're actually here, seeing it. It can improve your health. It can help you deal with adversity, and it helps create strong relationships. So, of course, it's always nicer when someone walks up to you and says, "Oh my God, I love your dress," or "Oh, your hair looks so nice today," right? It's that it makes you feel good, and that's something to be appreciative of. So again, it helps us refocus on what we do have, a state of abundance, not a state of deficit. So if you want to see some research on gratitude, there are two psychologists, Robert Emmons, University of California, Davis, and Michael McCullough, University of Miami, who've done some research. And study after study has found an association between higher levels of gratitude and well-being, including protection from stress and depression, more fulfilling relationships, better sleep, greater resilience. So even simple exercises, they had a group write something for gratitude for a couple months. Somebody else write something neutral, just what happened. Somebody else wrote a third thing. And the ones who wrote about from a gratitude perspective had better health at the end of their study. And it lasted for up to 6 months. So even if you start on it, it can help and have long. So again, just asking you to focus on gratitude can help. Now, I'm not trying to simplify it though, because if you're in a negative relationship or a horrible job, maybe seeking gratitude isn't, it's not going to fix everything, right? But being grateful for this over here could help you soften what you're dealing with over here. And it could be just the act of doing something for yourself, right? Instead of doing for everybody else. What am I grateful for? Nobody else can answer that for you. So Randy Garner, for business, Randy Garner wrote an article in Entrepreneur magazine, and he wrote that, being grateful for your company, your team, your ability to influence or to be influenced by others can increase productivity. So any of you who are managers, remember to be grateful for your team and to say that. It's going to have an effect. Has anyone had a boss who said thank you regularly and felt it had a difference in your I had an awesome boss who now has stayed my friend. And just the fact that she said thank you. And again, nonprofit, right? She couldn't give me a raise tomorrow. If you're in certain companies, there's a structure, right? You get 3% whether you got 100% on your review or you got 0, right? But just somebody saying thank you makes you want to keep doing hard. And I always used to tell her, you don't have to thank me, I'm just doing my job. But I still remember that feeling of, yeah, that was a good experience. And I'd work for her again in a heartbeat. Michael K. wrote in Inc. magazine, gratitude, like I said, might be top of your mind in the holidays. Remember to say thank you to people we want to say. Send a Christmas card to someone, or a Happy New Year, or a Happy Thanksgiving to clients and customers. So think about your customers, your clients, your staff, your vendors. Who's crucial to your business, and how can you remember to say thanks? And maybe even more often. So this one reminded me of our own Brenda Meller, who does her Friday shout-outs. Now, is Brenda's little post going to get her new business, that Friday night? Maybe, maybe not. But is Brenda's little post, A, going to make somebody feel really good, and B, going to bring her top of mind when someone's looking for someone who does LinkedIn and is positive? Would you rather work with somebody positive or negative? So there's 200, 300, 400 people who do LinkedIn training. Who am I going to hire? The one who has that positive, is putting that positive vibe out in the world. That's just reality, right? Because who do you want to work with? And Rachel, I looked at Rachel's name today, sorry. Brenda, I forgot to ask you to give me some sort of high five if I'm...
You're good. I'll give you a 5-minute, but we're good on time, so just keep going.
Okay. Yeah. So that's enough about business, but I think you all would agree it's better to work for somebody who's grateful. It's better to work with somebody as opposed to the everything sucks, right? I mean, we're at work more than we're home. So now I'll segue into a little personal. So I liked this one. Emily Monaco's an American writer, and she set a New Year's resolution to write thank you notes. 1 thank you note a week. So of course at first that felt great, and she had people, she was like, oh, how about so-and-so, they helped me this week, or so-and-so who helped me get this career started, or helped me get in this business. And then she got to the point where it was like, oh, it's a chore. It's Friday and I still haven't done my thank you note. Well, that's a whole nother talk, right? We could all have another session. As a matter of fact, all the amateur psychologists here, that should be one of our sessions. How do you talk yourself into doing things and turn it not to be a chore? But that being said, she realized it wasn't about what they were saying or if she got a response. Like some people called her and said, oh my God, that was so nice of you to send a thank you. It wasn't about that. It was about how she felt sending that out into the world. So once she reframed that, she went back to writing her thank you notes. But she also adopted another habit that I thought was excellent. As she was going through that process, she was a writer, so she writes articles. She would open an email when she started a new story, and anyone that helped her contributed to the story, she'd just pop their email into that, and save it. And then when the story got published, she would right away send a thank you and say, thanks so much for helping me work on this story about ABC Company or whatever, and here's a link to the article. Now, a little bit self-promoting, maybe. But again, she said thank you, and people aren't used to that. And so some of them, she didn't get any response, same thing, right? Some, she got a neutral response. A few, it led to other articles. When you're a self-employed writer, pretty sure you need the next article. So it worked for her, and I thought that was a great personal and professional way to say thank you, right? Email, we're all on it all day, every day. James Clear writes about gratitude, and he shared the story, and we all live this life, right? One time he's home, and his kids are running around, they only had an hour to eat dinner, picked up their food, and something was wrong with the order. First world problems much? And he said, no problem, you guys get ready for the thing we got to do in an hour. I'll go run and get the thing. And when he came back, he said, stop. And they changed the whole attitude just by saying, tell me one thing you're grateful for today. So now he started doing that every day at dinner. Changes your whole mindset. You're looking for that little, even when you come home and you're like, oh, I hate my job today, or oh, I had a crappy day. Think about that one thing. We could all do that, right? So that's my easiest suggestion. Starting tomorrow, one thing you're grateful for. Do it at dinner, do it at breakfast, do it at bedtime to help reframe your day. Now, you'll find online tons of suggestions for journals and for journaling. How many of you journal? Oh, you good girls. Journaling falls in that category of, like I said, it became a chore. I cannot keep a journal. I just start looking at it like, I don't wanna. And you're making me, I for sure don't wanna. So I'm not a journaler. But there are lots of ways to journal. And the easy way to incorporate gratitude into your journal is the same thing, right? One thing I am grateful for today. And just write it down in your journal. 3 things I'm grateful for today. My friend I met with this week has been journaling forever, journals all the time. She says, I'm doing 10 a day, 10 things I'm grateful for, and they can't repeat. You think that would be hard? They can't repeat. So that's deep, and that's deep work. And if any of you are ready to take that on, I want to hear about it at a future meeting, okay? Because that is awesome, but I'm like, wow. And that is another simple journal or not. Take your 10 fingers and I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for this, Well, you get to 4 or 5 probably easily. Then you're like working a little harder. But that's the point, is to be mindful and to work on getting all 10. To really try to get to all 10. So that you're recognizing what's going on in the world of abundance that we live in. Let's see. There was a British writer named Moya Sarner who wrote an article in The Guardian, and she was like, yeah, right. I'm not jumping on this Oprah bandwagon. Just because somebody wrote a book, it's not going to work. Whatever. I don't believe it. And she's a writer, so she wrote it way better. And she describes herself as an atheist, a pessimist, and a skeptic. So I don't know about you, but those 3 things are pretty negative. But she even could, I'm going to actually read her quote, because by the end, she said, nevertheless, after 4 weeks of counting my gratitude, I think I will keep doing it. For as long as I remember to, at least. I sometimes find that before bed, my thoughts speed up into an anxious whirl. Concentrating on what has brought me gratitude that day seems to quiet my mind. I'm also finding more things to be grateful for as they happen. It's a useful tool for reflection, for noticing things I might otherwise take for granted. And isn't that the point, to be mindful? A lot of you know I had the privilege of going to Europe this year for the second time. I never thought I'd get to go, and I got to go 2 Septembers in a row. So I'm immensely grateful for that. And there were more than one time that I just tried to be mindful and be grateful that I was standing in Rome and got to see some of this historical stuff that other people won't get to see. And it's about being aware in that moment of where you are and what you're doing. So much so that I realized when I went to show somebody some pictures, I didn't have any for 2 of the days because I tried to be there and my daughters are snapping away. One took 3,000 pictures, one took 4,000. I'm pretty sure they're covered. So again, it's all about mindfulness. So you can find things that tell you to do 1 a day. You can find things that 3 a day, 5 a day, 10 a day. Big things, little things. You have to find the one that works for you and the one that's not going to be a chore, that you might actually keep it going. I have a little mindfulness exercise we're going to do together that's around gratitude, and you can practice this at home. And at home you can really look at your house and your home and what's going on there. But for today we're going to imagine it. And so if you don't mind working with me, and I see a few people sitting up because they know with mindfulness you get to sit up but yet be comfortable, take a deep breath. And you probably want to close your eyes because you just want to be listening. So closing your eyes, taking a deep breath. Use your breath to anchor yourself. You're here, you're now. And you can imagine, though, that you're anywhere right now because we're thinking about things we're grateful for. So bring to mind a sight that you are grateful for. Something you have seen. Something you have experienced through your eyes, a color, a shadow, a shape, a movement. Can you feel grateful that you get to see this? Everyone always tells me the reason they live in Michigan is it's so beautiful, and I'm sure you can think of scenery that's beautiful. But whatever works for you, be grateful for that sight. Now shift to a scent that you appreciate. It might be an aroma from a favorite candle, a favorite food, from grandma's baking, something you made. But think about a scent that may warm you or gives you a certain feeling. Now moving on, tune into the sounds that you get to hear. Be grateful for your ears and for hearing. Think about what it feels like to really listen. When you listen to others speak, when you've heard more than even just their words, but their thoughts and feelings behind that. Think of a piece of music. The sound of children laughing, the sound of a loved one breathing, the sound of a babbling brook, whatever comes to mind that you could be grateful for because you have the sense of hearing. Now the world of touch beckons us. Touch and texture. Maybe it's a warm hug and you can be grateful for the gratitude of human contact, of that warm hug from that one person. Or even that unexpected warm hug from someone you at work or in a social setting that you weren't expecting a nice warm hug. Do you have a pet that you love to stroke and touch? Think about touch and how that can bring joy to your life. So now shift to noticing and appreciating objects, material things, but it could again be something really small or something really big, and we want to think beyond just, oh, that's cute. Our gratitude is someone thought up that object, somebody planned for it, somebody made it, even there was care in the shipping it to you. Let's give gratitude for those things in our life. And now as we're starting to wrap up, you've used your senses, but think about ways that you can take this attitude of gratitude a little further. Why not offer thanks to someone right now in your mind? Someone that's helped you, somebody that's coached you, someone that you're just grateful they're in your life. And then what if today, as you leave here today, you take out into the world a way to say thank you for something today. When someone hands you that cup of coffee, to sincerely look at them and say thank you. When your colleague does something in their work that's really good work, to say thank you. And a way to perpetuate that life of abundance. And now as you open your eyes and relax, and I tell you thank you for listening to me today.